Hey man, what's wrong?
Oh,
Do you mind if I sit here?
yeah, sure. I need a job, but I need my high school diploma.
What happened?
I just dropped out.
Why was that? You don't mind me asking?
It was too hard for me.
Okay. Did you ever look out for help for like tutoring or ask your teachers for help?
No.
Well, it's unfortunate that you weren't able to get your high school diploma and drop out. Nowadays, it's really important to have a high school diploma, as you can tell. I mean, it's difficult to find a job, right?
Yeah.
And you should have. I think that it's really important for you to have stayed in school because you can find that education that will help you provide for you and your future. What do you think we can do at this point? Do you know? How old are you?
I'm 17.
With that, there's also options for youth that you can sign up. You can also talk to the registrar and see if you can come back to school. But I think that if you were to go ahead and go back to school, I would recommend for you to really search out that help that's there for you, such as tutoring, looking out for help for your teachers, because, as I mentioned, it's really important for you to get a high school diploma because nowadays a lot of employments require you to have a master's.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to get a bachelor's or a master's is by first starting off the high school. And although it might seem hard, and I understand that, I was in high school too, I think that the sacrifices that you'll make will be worth it in the end. So if you want, I can go with you and we can see what options there are for you, and we can sign you up for high school. How do you think about that?
No.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
It can be a beautiful thing. Life. Full of fun times, laughter, and joy. But it's never all sunshine and rainbows, is it? We go through things in this world that leave us wondering why? Why me? What did I do to deserve this? But instead of thinking negatively, we should have positive thoughts. Thoughts such as, what can I do to overcome this? Everybody has their own story. Some might have the same chapter, but we're all different. We all go through different things. Nobody's life is perfect. If that were the case, what would we live for? When something doesn't go right, or something isn't working out, are we supposed to just sit there and give up? What people don't understand is fighting through it may be hard, but in the end, it's worth it. It's a lot easier to just give up. That's why many people choose to, but that's not the right thing to do. It is up to us to choose whether we enjoy life or not. It is up to us to either take control of life or let it control us. I don't think that's what it was meant for. I think we were given this challenge to show us what we are capable of, to teach us that we can overcome things like this. Whatever life throws at you, you shouldn't shy away from. Nobody's life is perfect. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life and be without flavor, without success, without growth, without failure. There is no achievements. Most great people have obtained their greatness by going one step past their failure. What people fail to understand is that failure is not final. Life is meant to be a challenge. It's the things we go through that builds our character and shapes us to be better people. We can't just give up on life. It's a beautiful thing we've been given. And that, my friends, is the beauty of life.
Anxiety, a word me and many other teenagers know a little too well. Most adults and people of the older generation seem to think that anxiety is just a made-up illness that many teenagers say they have for attention, when in reality it is very heartbreaking, it affects your life, and it stops you from living a carefree and happy life. These are our teenage years, the years where we are supposed to be able to experience everything and anything we possibly can while we still have time. But most teens now in 2019 suffer from anxiety so much that we don't go out and live the teenage experience like we're supposed to. So here's my question, adults and older generation. Why do you believe we are making this up? When an adult says they are nervous, or when an adult says they are scared, or an adult says they just have too much on their plate right now, we allow it. We try to help them and we try to fix the issue that's occurring in their lives. But when a teenager says it, or a teenager says they have anxiety right now, or a teenager says they just can't handle this much homework, we make fun. I, from personal experience, have had it told to me that you're just a teenager. You don't have this many issues in life. You don't have to worry about stuff like I do. Teenagers suffer from anxiety to the point where we are breaking down. Teenagers suffer from anxiety to the point where we are committing suicide because we cannot handle it anymore. And while anxiety is not one of the many mental illnesses that can cause teenagers to break down and feel like nothing, it is a major one. I decided to interview 3 teenagers that I know suffer from anxiety so they can voice their own opinion on the topic. Now adults, when you watch this video, I want you to know one thing. These are true high school students. These are their true words, their true thoughts. So please listen and have an open mind. Do you suffer from anxiety?
Yes.
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 Okay, so do you think anxiety is talked about as much as it should be?
I think it's more acceptable to talk about it nowadays because of social media. But I think it could definitely be brought up more often in conversation.
I think it's talked about in a light that makes fun of it and not like it's as serious as it really is.
I don't think so. I think people focus on depression, which is reasonable and valid, but anxiety kind of hurts more.
What do you wish people who didn't have anxiety knew about it and how it affects people who do?
It's not just something that teenagers make up for attention, and it is debilitating in everyday life.
It's more than just a tiny little fear problem. It's really big and it takes over someone. It really holds you back from living your life happily and carefree.
It feels like you know there's something bad that's going to happen, but there's no way of preventing it. So you're just sitting there worried, and there isn't like how when in a game there's like the scary music and you start getting anxious, it's like there's that scary music throughout the entire day.
Seminary is an early morning church education system that allows teachers who are older in the church, who have the opportunity to share their testimonies and their knowledge of the gospel with the youth, ages 14 to 18. And it's held every morning, weekdays, just before school. Well, in the state of California, we do it early in the morning because we don't have release time from your high school classes. So we start about 6 to 6:30 in the morning. It gives the students a great time and a great way to start off their day. We learn about the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament each year as a curriculum for the students. So Old Testament will be 1 full year, New Testament a full year. We also learn about the Book of Mormon for 1 year and also church history for 1 full year. It's great to share my knowledge and testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ with the youth of the church, and also just to spend some time with some great young people.
I think my experience with modesty in the church has been very strengthening and very enlightening, I guess, in a way. I know that we have those standards for a reason, and I know that we are able to follow those standards through the church and to find resources to help us with the standards of modesty. It strengthened my testimony a lot, because I know that I'm doing the right thing when I'm choosing the modest clothing, or for prom dresses or big events that are coming up. I know that I'm choosing the right thing by keeping myself modest. And I think that the church recommends staying modest and having a humble appearance, because we in the world today, it's not a very common thing, and I know that we have those standards to keep us safe and to portray ourselves as children of Heavenly Father, and to uphold our standards, and people can really see that in our appearance.
My experience with friends and in church would be mostly the influence that I have on them and they have on me. Being with other people of my own religion, it's more of a guideline setter for me. It shows me what I can do, what I can't do, what I should do and what I shouldn't be doing. And it affects how I make friends as well. I tend to make friends easier when I'm with other friends that are from my same religion. It's strengthened my testimony because it shows that I can follow in the footsteps of my Lord and Savior. It shows that I can be who I need to be when I need to be. It shows that I can be an influence to others, be a good influence. I encourage it because it affects the church itself as well. If we're surrounded by bad people, they'll tend to look into us and see, oh look, they're hanging around with bad people, it must be a bad church. And honestly, with better friends, you have a better chance of coming out better than usual friends, and usually the good friends are the ones that last longer inside the church with their testimonies and their faith.
So I think at church it's kind of more of a good positive language, and then at school, because we're youth and stuff, we use bad language. I guess the youth does. We use cuss words and stuff, so there's major differences between the two. It's probably strengthen my testimony of using good language, because I know that if you use bad language, you're kind of almost degrading yourself in a way, and so I know that I need to fix my language and be able to uphold the standards of language in the church. So just because when you use that type of language, you kind of not make yourself, but you portray yourself as a better person, and you are able to use way more complex words than the cuss words that are used now, I guess, and so you're more positive.
Showing you how to make slime. Food coloring to add color. Shaving cream to add texture. A bowl and silverware to mix your slime in. Borax for the activator, and hot water to make the borax dissolve, and glue. You'll need 1 cup of warm water and a teaspoon of borax. Now we are going to add the glue. sure you add it little by little. Hi, this is the final product after I kept it in a sealed container for over a day. As you can see, it's very stretchy, bubbly, and clicky. So we hope you enjoyed the video and that you know how to make slime now. Have fun with it. Bye! I have short-term memory loss. I'm an impatient person, so I'm just adding it. No! You have to take the chemical. What? We're going